in the sky above you. And deep beneath your feet. It waits silently, patiently.
Water is the main source of life. You have to have water to survive.
I don't think people realize what this water authority really does.
The Benbrook Water and Sewer Authority is the only thing like it in the state of Texas.
The customer came first.
I think our water's good. I think it's delicious, actually.
Most the people probably don't realize that it's not City of Benbrook Water Department.
We are specialized. We're good at what we do. We're professionals.
Everybody has to be taken care of as soon as possible.
So this guy is a representative of the Benbrook Water Authority. That's where I want to be.
What is a water authority? Benbrook Water Authority, what is that? He said it's a water district created by the state of Texas for Benbrook citizens.
In 1955, the Worth Water System, which was owned by the Leonard family, Marvin and Obie, Leonard's department store, everybody's department store, older folks will remember those. They owned Worth Water Systems, and they came out and they drilled a couple of wells here in what we refer to as South Benbrook. They put a well in up on Del Rio, and then they started selling people, and this little housing developing in the early 50s, in the late 40s. After World War II, they started selling water to them. So they wanted out of the business, and so they went to the city council and said, we want you to buy a water system. Wasn't around at the time that much to know, but I don't know what they paid for it, but I'm sure it was a bunch. But the city didn't have the money to buy it. They didn't have the credit rating to buy it. So they got the legislature to pass a law establishing the Benbrook Water and Sewer Authority. And the city council actually became the first water board until they could hold an election to elect 5 members to the water board.
What makes the authority unique is the fact that we're a separate governmental entity from the city of Benbrook. Our jurisdiction is within the city of Benbrook, but we're enacted by the state legislature.
The key functions of the water authority is to ensure that we provide the citizens with potable drinking water and also with sanitary sewer service.
You know, I've tried to drill this into everybody's head that I talk to out in the field, the people out there. This is an entity set up by the state government. And it operates on revenues, not tax money, revenues. The revenues that come off this system, that's what pays the employees. Buying trucks, equipment, putting up new water towers, extending the system. It does all that stuff.
It operated in the beginning like a municipal water authority would. I think one of the things that we brought to it is we've brought to it a management style of a public for-profit corporation. Because even though we're not for profit, and we don't have more money at the end of the year than when we started out with, eventually we're going to run out of money. And this is owned by the citizens.
The first individual that I came in contact with was employed by the Benbrook Water Authority, and that was Zolly Allen. And to me, Zolly was an icon for the people of Benbrook and the Benbrook Water Authority. And of course, all the years Zolly and I have worked together, he never disappointed me. He was just that type of individual. He was an exceptional individual.
When I started out, there was 9 people involved in the water department.
We were in a little hole in the wall up there behind the Starbucks, and we kept growing and growing and growing. I think we had a total of 13 employees back then.
Benbrook was small then, so you got to know the people in Benbrook, and you'd see them at the grocery stores.
When I started here, there was a water treatment plant that was capable of producing 1 million gallons of water a day. Now we're up to 12 million gallons of water a day.
We have a contract with Tarrant Regional Water District that we made in 1981, which guaranteed us 1 billion gallons of water a year for 99 years at a very, 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 very low price, which is what lets us be cheaper than most of the other areas around here because we have our own water. Plus we have the wells that we draw the water down in.
And I think the purpose of Benbrook Water Authority is the best drinking water you can afford the customer, plus the waste that goes from the house, and then the fire department. There are three main activities that need to be there. To me, that's the main one. If I talk to the President of the United States, I tell him the same thing.
This is where we get our water for Benbrook. We're down here near the intake structures, which is at the deepest part of the lake. As you look down here, you see two structures. The big one on the left is Fort Worth intake, and the smaller one is the Benbrook intake. Usually when we're at conservation level, it's usually around 67 feet here at the deepest part. Water is a natural resource, and there's only so much of it to go around. So each one of these impoundments is actually like having a little bank account for the people. Here we are at the base of the dam. As you see, the water's being released into the spillway at this point. At this point, the water's being pumped downtown, passed through Fort Worth, and then into Dallas from here. We've got to keep a certain amount of water going downstream for them, too. That's why we're not just trying to hold on to all the water here. This water's got to be shared by everybody. Nobody gets a monopoly on it. At the Pecan Valley Golf Course, one of our remote pump stations, inside here we've got some remote high service pumps to increase the volume that we can get from the lake.
We do have a water treatment plant that is capable of treating 12 million gallons of water a day. We purchase water through the Tarrant Regional Water District by contract. Through a pipeline, it goes to the plant.
The water has come through 2 miles of concrete reinforced pipe and has now entered the treatment process. We have interjected some chemicals to kill not only taste and odors, but pathogenic and coliform and other such organisms that could be harmful. All the solids in the water begin to coagulate and become bigger and heavier, and these things will settle out quite readily.
The first defense in the water system is the water treatment plant. And so we take a lot of pride and a lot of concern in making sure that that water is safe to drink.
Our spirit meters monitor every minute, constantly, 24 hours a day, and our guys have to check this out hourly, just to make sure everything is going good.
Here we are in one of our filtering structures. This water has been treated for the most part, but there's still some solids that need to be removed.
When the filter is backwashing, it pushes all the molecules from the bottom up, and all the molecules get caught in the filters.
This is the last great haven before the water gets its final dose of chlorine and is put to the tanks.
This is our lab area. This is where we run all our tests every 4 hours to see exactly how much chemicals to put in our water and see exactly what our water is doing. And our SCADA system shows us the whole layout. We can see the system itself, or we can go to the plant. You can also see the history of what went on 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago. Anything you need to know, it's right here on the SCADA system.
Once it goes through the plant process and is potable, then we pump it into the system where we have various elevated storage tanks that help keep the pressure in the system.
This is our south elevated water storage tank. It was erected in 1960 to a height of 105 feet and has a storage capacity of 100,000 gallons. When the system demand calls for it, the pumps at the water treatment plant will pump water into this tank, which then is used to meet that demand, such as fire protection. As demand calls for it, and as the ground storage tank gets full, we have a booster pump that will pump water from the ground storage tank to the system.
15 water wells draw water from the Biloxi and Trinity aquifers. The depth of the wells range from 228 feet to 1/6 of a mile below the surface. The combined storage capacity of the elevated and ground level tanks totals nearly 11 million gallons. Specialized dive crews inspect each tank on a yearly basis. Dark and unique underwater excursions high above the quiet streets of Benbrook.
We're tying this sewer service, the existing sewer service, to this house into a new main, and we're tying their service in.
Got it?
Yes.
Beneath the streets of Benbrook lies a vast network of over 110 miles of pipes bringing water to homes and businesses, and nearly 130 miles for removal of wastewater. Laid end to end, these pipes would stretch from Benbrook to San Antonio, Houston, Shreveport, or Oklahoma City.
This is our water well number 7. This well was drilled in March of 1960 to a depth of 284 feet. The well currently produces about 65,000 gallons a day, and the water it produces is pumped into this tank for storage and disinfection, and then is pumped into the system for use.
Once it goes from the system, it goes to the customer's tap. Our concern is there that once they turn that on, that water is safe to drink and meets all or exceeds all of the regulatory requirements by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and also by the Environmental Protection Agency.
It is a separate entity. The city has nothing to do with it, although we're here together, we work together, and they're good people.
We have powers granted to us by the state legislature that enables us to focus on 2 things, and that is the production of water and the treatment of wastewater for the customers and citizens of Benbrook. In doing that, we don't typically serve as a revenue source for a general fund like most city water departments do. In doing that, we're able to keep our costs down and ensure that what we do provide our customers is very high quality.
You know, we not only coordinate things amongst ourselves with the Water Authority, but we work with the Trinity River Water Authority. We coordinate things with the city of Fort Worth. We work with the city council. It takes a lot of coordination and working with people getting things done.
We work with the city of Benbrook as far as planning and zoning, what's going to be going on in the future out there, so we have an idea of how to plan for that and develop for that growth.
We're constantly looking out for the interest of our customers and the citizens to make sure that we have adequate resources available not only 5 years down the road, but 50+ years down the road.
Through the years, there have been attempts, to merge us with the city of Benbrook, and it hasn't passed, and we still stand individual as a nice little successful company.
It really was a big election because everyone was involved in it. I think a lot of people took a lot of pride in our water authority.
That was a challenge because we wanted to keep it the way it was, and it was a vote by the citizens. And so that was the big challenge that I got involved in right from the very start.
We can focus on just what we need to do and what we need to prepare for. So the revenue generated by water sales and sewer sales all comes back to the authority, so it stays here, and we can use that to work with the engineering firms to forecast the future.
You can't get anywhere in the future unless you work together and benefit each other.
Well, one year we had the election. We won. And so they said, we want to go with red shirts and blue jeans for our uniforms. Fine, we did that. It happened in the summertime. How long does this contract last? I said, a year. Well, can we hurry up and get it over with? Said, these things are burning us up.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we strive to do is increase service, increase quality, and at the same time hold the cost of water down. And we've done a real good job of that over the years.
Our water has been rated the last several years as some of the best water in the state of Texas. We've gotten several awards on it, and that's due to the people who work here, their dedication, commitment, doing their job, and not just doing it to be doing it, but doing an excellent job.
Quality is the primary consideration. I feel like it's our job to not only provide the best quality at the best value, but to provide customer service through the best trained employees that I've ever worked with.
In 2005, we were recognized as an outstanding drinking water system by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. That's a big deal, and not many people know about that. We got plaques on the wall, things like that. Well, what that means is we were one of 44 drinking water systems out of 6,000 in Texas to be honored with that award, and our employees did that. That rates us about 99.99% tops. So Benbrook can be proud that they have just about the best drinking water system in Texas.
I've seen technology come in, and with technology coming in, it was able to show us more. What I'm talking about is water quality. We could see small amount of contaminants, more small contaminants, and the requirements from the EPA were more stringent. And that means that we had to make the adjustment with personnel as well as equipment.
We don't hear many complaints. You can't make everybody happy. That's not a 100% deal, but we feel pretty confident that the public's satisfied with the work we do.
I think our board is primarily interested in the customer because we're all customers ourselves. We pay the same rates that anybody else does.
We come in contact with every citizen every day through what we do. And they had total trust in the product that we were delivering to them was safe.
I look at my water bill and I think, gee, what a bargain. What a bargain. That water is there every day, and as a citizen, I rely upon it.
What I would like for them to understand and know that every time they open a faucet, there's someone did something to make sure that that product was available. Even if it's at 3 o'clock in the morning, holiday weekend, when they turn that faucet on, there's a person behind that.
The main thing we know as citizens is we go in and the toilet flushes and the water comes on. And that's really all we care about.
I like the staff because A, they're all good people. B, I've been here so long, I've seen most of them come to work here. I've seen their families grow up and everything, and been through thick and thin with some of them.
What I liked about my job was, it was my dream. A small organization, and I had a chance to become a person instead of a number at a large facility. And what I really liked about my job was the closeness of the people.
We are very long-term. You'll notice our roster. We don't have a lot of turnover, and we never have in 25 years.
I'd see Zolly on the streets, and these are people that I knew that I felt relieved that I was helping support something that was very important to our Benbrook community.
Moved David Wasson up from the water treatment plant. He went to high school, where my kids went to high school. He worked and got his degree, and he moved up in the office with me, and I took over management.
David Wasson. Well, you know, I watched David grow up, and you know, and Richard, one of the other employees here, I was the teacher's aide in his classroom when he was in middle school.
I used to say to David, you keep going to school and I'll be working for you one of these days. And he always remembered that, and it did happen.
From the general manager down, everybody cares about everybody else. And we try to make this not a workplace per se where you hate to come to work and you dread it, but it's a place where you can come and you can get stuff done, and you enjoy working here and dealing with the people and also with the customers.
My neighbors know this is where I work, and so if they ever have concerns, they ask me, and I try to address them.
As a board, we all have our opinions. We all laugh. We all get a little hot every now and then, but it worked out beautifully.
The chamber had a midnight golf tournament, and I talked the Water Authority into letting us put a team in, and I talked Susie Morrison in it, and she was just really angry because she didn't know how to play golf. And it wasn't until we got out there that I told her, I don't either.
PWA has a tremendously talented staff.
Think about it. How many employees of something like the Benbrook Water Authority do you think in the state of Texas would get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, the middle of February, go dig a hole in a street, climb down in a ditch full of water at 12 degrees outside so that when you get up in the morning, you can turn hot water on and take a shower and go to work? I don't think they could ever ask to have a better group of people to represent them in what probably is as important in their lives as the police and the fire department are.
But I had some good people. Good people. I'm missing them. Every day was a challenge. I told all my employees, I said, you work for these people, you work for these customers, you do them right.
We try to make everything right, and I want the citizens to know that too.
I don't think people realize how important the Water Authority really is. I mean, you use water every day in so many different ways.
But they're a good group of people. They work together, and most importantly, they care about the citizens of Benbrook.
But like I said, we do have a dedicated staff here, and this goes all the way from the bottom all the way to the top.
We're one big family here. I don't know if y'all realize that, but we are close-knit. A lot of us veterans in this field for a long time.
I can depend on Benbrook Water Authority the way water can depend on one from a member of a family. And that's what it means to me personally. It means family.
We have a lot to be proud of at the Water Authority. If the citizens of Benbrook and the Water Authority customers never, ever, ever, ever have a reason to call down here, we're successful.
I'm amazed at how well everyone works together. I've always been amazed at how Benbrook comes together as a city.
Dealing with the residents of Benbrook has always been something that's been really enjoyable because they all are real nice and friendly, and even the community itself is like a huge family, and I think that just resonates all the way down to Benbrook Water Authority.
I like the Benbrook people. I got to meet more people out there. It's been a good place for me to work.
Citizens of Benbrook ought to be real happy that they've got an organization like the Benbrook Water Authority.
I can honestly say that my time that I spent here, the 22 and a half years that I spent with the Benbrook Water Authority, were rewarding years.